So look, I did a video on Saturday, maybe it was Saturday, and I was talking about the funky Dineva situation and how he's been silly for a while now. For those of you who are new to my channel, I don't really introduce myself all the time. I'm the Black Opinionated woman, also known as a BO. And so I basically just give my opinion on things. I don't do hard research. The reason why, I don't have a whole lot of cycles. So occasionally I will, but most of the time these are just my opinions on things. Some of it's based on heuristics, some of it's based on my self-experience, some of it's based on some factual data, right? So when I say these things, it doesn't mean that the things that I'm saying aren't rooted in like some sort of reason, but I don't go all the way out of my way to go pull out every single journal to say, hey, according to the journal of Humpty Hump or whatever. So anyway, let's get into it. So like on Saturday, I recorded a video. I really wanted to record it on Friday, but I couldn't get to it. And I talked about how, it really doesn't matter if you're straight, if you're gay, if you're trans, or if you're into drag or whatever. I don't feel like black men really like black women. I feel like many of them, they have such intense hate. Look, like I've said before, I'm going to say it again. If it doesn't apply, get out of your feelings, right? If it doesn't apply to you, then you need to get out of your feelings. Why does this look so weird today? I don't know what's wrong with this camera. Okay, so anyway, the way I look at it is, now granted, this is based off of things that may pop up in my feed on social media, things that are being reported, right? So do I think every single black guy is like this? No, but I'm not going to sit here, you have to mince words every single time I talk and say some or whatever, okay? So you understand what I'm saying. And what I will say is this. I look at how many of these communities, many people in the alphabet community, they talk about allyship and all this other stuff. But what I am finding is that, I'm going to speak for the Black v. Black blacks. I see this in some of the white community too. You have these men who really just hate women, and they're trying so hard to like discredit women. I don't know what it is. It's just so creepy to me. It is. You've got men coming into women's spaces telling women what womanhood is, what they own, what they don't own. They're coming really hard, like they're yelling at women, like you won't do. Like I was watching T.S. Madison. Like now that I know who she is, I didn't even know who she was until recently. Like she was mad at this other content creator for saying something, and she came at her like a whole dude. I was like, ew. But she wants to be a woman, or he wants to be a woman. I don't even know what to call this person. I get confused with all the pronouns. And anyway, the point I'm making is when I think about the Dineva situation, Funky Dineva, whatever his real name is, I don't think he even likes women. He obviously doesn't like them sexually, but he doesn't like women as people. I think he uses women as some sort of tool, as a prop, as some sort of clout thing or whatever, right? So you got people like Claudia Jordan who allow him to sit up on that show that she has on Fox Soul. Stop it, car. To sit up on her show and to continuously degrade and drag women. And I guess to me, like, no, no, sir. Go get your own platform for that. He has always been like that. I did not know who he was until like a few years ago. And I don't know if it was just during the pandemic or post pandemic. Well, I wasn't on YouTube. Okay. Like, only reason why I started really paying, I knew what YouTube was, but I never was really on it. The only reason why I started getting on YouTube was because, well, during the pandemic, we were all looking for ways to entertain ourselves. And, you discover all kinds of people. So when I first started listening to him, I forgot what it was. I think he might have been doing a recap of maybe some sort of reality television show. I don't know. What I do know was I subscribed to him for about, I don't even know if it was a week or so. All I know was I was just trying to be supportive, and I was like, this guy is so dumb and he's mean. He just says the meanest things. And I feel like the women who he aligns himself with don't like black women. So I noticed that he aligns himself with like Heavenly. Excuse me, Heavenly from Married to Medicine. Now, let me just say this. I know a lot of people like her. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this season. Um, I just find her to be mean. I find her to be insulting. I don't think she likes herself. She's already gone through a whole bunch of surgeries or whatever, allegedly, to try to get herself together. But the way she talks to women and looks down on women, on people, I'm like, and it's and she had mommy issues already. And so there was like maybe a couple of seasons back where they did a thing on how she was in the house, and I don't know, something was not going outside to play, or I don't know. She had issues with her mom. They went and visited where she grew up. And so I can have sympathy for someone who had really, you know, traumatic situation, but then she needs to deal with that trauma. And so the way she looks at women and certain types of women, she treats them bad. She talks to them poorly. She's a really kind of a disgusting human being. I look at the way she is, like she's so grossly insecure. I mean, you see it play out on television in her relationship with her husband and just with women, pretty women at that. So it reminds me of like a Punky Dineva and how he's so grossly insecure in his looks. I mean, look, I'm not here to attack the man's looks, but we have to be honest. He is not at the top of the pickings for people who are easy on the eye. He's not, okay? And so because he knows that he's, not attractive. I think there is some hatred. He already has issues with women, and then he has hate. I think there's something going on where he feels the need to come for another woman. So it's like so unnecessary. He came out with that BS apology. I did finally listen to it because I was like, let me hear what he actually said. I wasn't even interested at first. I'm like, save your apology. And I was like mad that I listened to the apology because I was like, he could have saved the apology. It wasn't an apology. So when I think about people like that, and when I make comments like straight, gay, or trans, I mean what I say, because I'm watching. It doesn't matter. This guy happened to be gay. You had trans women, men who turned into women. So I always flip the terms. I always want to call them trans men. I think trans women are, well, it makes sense to call them trans women, right? Because they're changing into a woman. So trans women, like Angelica Ross came at, like Jess Hilarious, who's a regular woman, um, T.S. Madison, blah, blah, blah. Like, I look at all these, and there's others, like the one that started the controversy a few months ago. I mean, a few weeks ago. I don't know her name. She was like on TikTok. But anyway, the point I'm making is you get these trans women getting out here saying all this stuff full of vitriol and about black women. They're coming so hard, talking about you could never be the woman that I am. I'm like, you're absolutely right, because I was born a woman. So in reality, we could never be the same, ever. You've got these trans women coming on here trying to bully women in women's spaces. Like as soon as they get upset, they like their manliness truly comes out. What you're not gonna do? I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you yelling at? I don't care how much makeup you put on people, like Laverne Cox and the Janet Mock. They still look like women. They're really pretty men, and I feel like when you have these trans personalities get out here, I guess I call them personalities, um, and they start coming for women. I'm like, they never liked women. They never did. They don't like them as people, especially black women. I watch how some of the things that they're saying, like, I shouldn't have even brought in Janet Mock because I don't remember anything in recent times that she's even said. But like Laverne Cox and her fake crying, and you got T.S. Madison, who's psycho. You've got Angelica Ross, who really thinks that she's more of a woman than a woman. I'm like, I don't care how many pounds of makeup you put on, and how many tiny little dresses you put on. Like, you have to transform into being what we are naturally. I find that they take comfort in trying to take down a black woman. They do. So these trans personalities and gay men, like, they cannot go at so-called straight men with the same level and intensity, right? So they take it out. It's almost like punching down. Like, I don't see them coming so hard for like regular dudes, right? Like as if they tried it, they know like these guys are going to like body them up. I just find it to be really disgusting. So this is what I would say to black women. Look, stop looking for everybody to be an ally. We have to be our own ally. Okay? We have to stop. If people want to be allies, great. But we have to stop thinking that everyone's our ally, because they're not. Not even the gay men, not even the trans women. They're not. They are not. Because they will gaslight you. First of all, any opportunity they can, they want to cut you down. They want to drag you. They want to cut you down. They want to discredit your femininity and your womanhood. Number two, they want to come into your spaces and cause havoc and disruption. Tell you what is considered this, what is considered that. And if you don't like what they're saying, they want to label you a phobe. They already want to call you cis something. And I don't really pay attention to natural born women who are lesbian who don't think there's anything wrong with it, because they already are on the other side. I'm talking about, well, actually, yes, I do, because there's still women and there's still black. Let me rephrase what I'm saying. The trans and gay and black men who are speaking about black women in these kinds of ways, okay, they don't like women as people, as humans. They don't. The trans personalities and people who are coming into women's spaces, I think they're doing is it's almost like a way of punching down, because they can't express their anger towards straight men. I feel like black women need to stop looking outside of black women, straight or lesbian, doesn't matter, for support. I don't want to be called a cis woman. I'm a regular woman. We're not going to start changing language. You're the one who transitioned. You call yourself a trans woman. That's it. Like this is literally it. And you should live your life the way you want to live it. I'm not going to stop you. Just don't try to come impact mine. And I'm telling you right now, because they're trying to take over spaces now, they'll do things by trying to put labels and this weird guilt. Look, I don't feel any guilt. I don't. And they're trying to get into these spaces and they're trying to change language, which is crazy to me. They will label you as a shaming tactic. And I'm like, you can say whatever you want to say about me. I'm not scared of trans people. I don't, or gay men or anything like that, right? And this is how I see Funky Dineva. I think Funky Dineva wants to live in his space, in his truth, or whatever it is, because everybody has their own truth, not the real truth. And he wants to take shots at black women. And then if people come at him, he's got fake apologies. Let me just say this. I feel like I went on a whole rant and ramble. Let me back this up. I must apologize to the listener today. Let me apologize, because my thoughts are all jumbled together today, and I didn't do a really good job of explaining myself. So let me just clean this up. Let me just back this up a little bit. Funky Dineva um, is not an ally for black women. I think he uses black women as a tool. He uses them as a tool. Okay? He's like, well, I'm validated by black women, and now I have social currency by black women, and I'm in the black women, so I can do and say whatever I want in the name of, girl, just be quiet and deal with it. And these black women who don't have enough gumption or self-esteem or veritas, no, it's a gravitas, I said veritas, gravitas, to say, no, wait a second, I know that you have proximity next to me, but let's be clear. Just like we get upset with non-black people who get really comfortable and they start getting loose with their tongue, we need to start doing the same thing with some of these men. Like, wait a second, let's be clear. Don't get too cute and too comfortable where you think you can come in my space, drag me, tell me to change how I speak, and tell me to get over it. No, absolutely not. The people that have been allies for the alphabet community are the very ones that they're going after now. They're trying to take over communities, which I'm not sure how they think they can do that, but like the whole thing is silly. Funky Dineva has always been, from what I have seen in my short time of knowing him, of what is it, 2 or 3 years? I don't remember. He's always just been a problematic person. I stopped listening to him right away because he is a mean person. He's just a mean person, period. Everything about him is shading and being disgusting towards people, period. Whether it's a woman or not, but he definitely is comfortable with coming for black women. I'll never forget when he went after OG from the Basketball Wives show. Now, granted, I stopped watching it after that, but like the way he was talking about, she's just so ugly, and I'm like, why are you talking about this woman's looks? I'm like, is it because she looks unambiguously black? I mean, and even if she's not your cup of tea, if you don't like it, if you don't find her to be attractive, why do you feel the need to constantly go on a platform and talk about how unattractive she is? Like, that is psycho. That is really psycho. He talked about Blue Ivy, and I was just kind of like, why do you care that much about Beyonce and Jay-Z's daughter? Like, why do you care that much about how she looks? Why would you go after a child? And now recently, Chloe Bailey, who I'm like, look, anybody with eyes can see that she is just beautiful. She is beautiful. Okay, she's whacked out in the head, but she is beautiful. I think that she is a whole situation. Yes, you cannot deny her beauty and talent, though. So, all right, fucking Dineva needs to sit down. I don't know why people continuously allow him on their platform and give him all this clout. And he doesn't have to learn anything. He says maybe he'll take this as an opportunity to learn something. He's not going to learn anything because there's never any sort of consequence for him. There are no consequences for him. He can say and do whatever he wants. And people will continue to get next to him because black women don't have enough self-esteem. We don't have enough self-esteem to say, you know what, this isn't it. Look, I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want to do, but what I'm not going to do is give you an opportunity on my platform. I'm like, the audacity of some people. I'm like, looking at this man, I'm like, you're talking about Chloe Bailey's looks. And I was like, how is this even possible? Because even when you put on the makeup and the wigs and stuff, you could never, ever. He is a mean, unhappy person because he went after Chloe like she was a piece of you know what, and it was so unnecessary. He's like, I don't even like you. I'm like, okay, like why? Why? Like, why does this even have to be part of it? Why can't you just say, hey, look, why are you? I don't know. All I know is Chloe Bailey had the right to say what she wanted to say in defense of her sister. Whether she's pregnant or not, I don't know. I don't even care. I really don't. And then that's it. But Funky Dineva, he needs to stop talking. He's a piece of work. And oh, look at the light. I don't need this anymore. He needs to stop talking. And and this is right out here, see, ladies and gents. He needs to stop talking. And black people need to start realizing that, like, people in the alphabet community are not necessarily an ally, at least not to black women. I think black women finally have come to the conclusion that that white women are not our allies. Like, I don't have any issue with white women, but I know that they're not like an ally, right? So we have to understand that the same applies to any form of black man. When I say form, I'm talking about any sexual form because apparently we're like really caught up in everybody's sexuality. All right, this was a total cluster of a conversation today, going off the cuff. I was a little bit of a ramble and a rant. All right.